Welcome back, everyone. Quickly, let's continue our discussion on HTML. And right now, we will be discussing about HTML class attribute. The HTML class attribute is used to specify a class for an HTML element. Multiple HTML elements can share the same class attribute. Using the class attribute is often used to point to a class name in a style sheet, and it can also be used by a JavaScript to access and manipulate elements with the specific class name. In the following example, we have three div elements with a class attribute with the value of city. All of the three div elements will be styled equally according to the .city style definition in the head section. That is, in this head section, opening and closing head section, we are having our style attribute, we are having our style tag. So after our style element, we are having our what? Our city class. This is our class here. So we are going to use this inside our class attribute, which is right here. This is our class attribute, and we are going to use the city class right here. We will omit the dot here, but here inside, when you want to style it, you must put the dot behind it. But when you want to use it, you will use it without the what? Without the dot. So quickly, let's continue our discussion. As you can see, one thing I want you to notice here is that this class name is inside one div element at the top, and this one is having class name also at the second div element. They are having the same class name. They are having the same class inside the class attribute, and this third one also having the same class. In the following example, we have two span elements with a class attribute with the value of notes. Both span elements will be styled equally according to the note, according to the word, to the .note style definition in the head section. In the head what? In the head section. That is, the .note style that we are having here with its property, we are going to use it only inside these two span elements that we are having. We are having one span element inside our h1 tag, another span element inside our p tag, but we are going to use this only one class here. We are going to use it inside our class attribute that we are having inside our span element. The second span element is the p tag. We are going to use that same note .note. We are going to use the note class inside here. So don't forget, that's how we are going to do it again. The class attribute can be used on any HTML element, and note the class name is case sensitive. You can learn more about CSS in our future tutorial, but I will advise you can just keep going gently like this so you can be able to understand the deep science behind this. Back to our document, let's see what we are having so far. In our previous tutorial where we discussed about block and inline HTML element, you can check the playlist so you can be able to know how we got all this. So let's see the code. This is the code. There's no any magic in it. So let's now do something with this one right here. Now back to our document. What are we going to do right here? We are going to use what? We are going to use class element. We are going to use class attribute. The class attribute, instead of giving our style using the style attribute here, we are going to use the class attribute. So we don't need to delete all this. Instead, we can do what? We can remove the style attribute from this one, save our document to see what is going to happen. Can you see? No anything style there. So we are going to we will now do what? We will use our class. When we use the class, then we are going to use what? A name. Let's say 1. Let's give it 1. Let's give it 1. Let's give it first. Let's just give it first. You can give it any name you want. First class. Let's give it first class. This first class. Now let's use the value, the name here also. Let's use the class here. Dot first class. That's what we are going to do. Then we are going to do like this. Now let's paste what we have copied so far. This is what we have copied, right? Then remove this style here. Now do like this. As you can see, remove this colon also at the end. As you can see, the background color that we specified before, along with this value, the color that we specified before, and the padding also is here. The padding, as you can see, the background color and padding, they will all come back now because we have used this class here, the class attribute. Inside it, we create a class. Now here is the class. We create the class inside our style sheet using what? Dot first class, and you can write dot anything. So you can give it any name you want, but make sure that the name you are giving it here, make sure that it's the same that is showing here, but only the dot that will not be there. So let's save our document and see what will happen. Let's reload. Can you see we are having our color back? So let's get back to our document. As we are having our style back. Now what can we do? Let's test something. For instance, let's use dot inside this class here to see what will happen. Let's save it and reload our document. Can you see the class is not showing again? But definitely you should know that don't use the dot if you are using it inside this HTML file here, because this is for CSS and this is for what? Is for the HTML. So the HTML don't allow the dot here. So let's save it again and reload our document. Can you see? Now we are having our style back. So the same thing, we are going to do the same thing with what? With our span element. That is, we are having two span elements here. Then we can remove all these styles here and use only one style for this two span tag. So let's use only one class. Let's say class. Let's give it our span. First span. Let's give it span tags. Right? Let's give it another class here and give it span tags. When we give it span tags, let's reload our document first. As you can see, the color have disappeared from the giant and the Africa. So let's go back to our document and bring back our color. Our span tag will get dot span tags, right? Opening and closing parentheses. Put your color there. Don't forget to remove this thing at the end of it, and also don't forget to remove everything from the style to the color also. And now dot here so that it can be clean. So save your document again. As you can see, inside our span tags here, when we highlight it, you can see that we are highlighting this. As you can see, they are the same. Right now, let's save our document and reload. They are going to have the same color. This giant and this Africa is going to have the same color. As you can see, giant and Africa having the same color. Let's say we change the color to green, light green. Let's say light coral. Let's use light coral. Can you see light coral? Let's use light green. Can you see? They both having the same color, and we can do what? We can separate them. But right now, this is what we are here for at the moment. In the future tutorial, we are going to still learn more about all this that we are doing right here. So let's say, for instance, we want to use red color. Save your document. We are going to find this. As you can see, it is red. So let's bring it back to our previous color. So we're having light green. Let's bring it back, as you can see. So that's how we use the class attribute. This is class attribute, and that's how we use it. You can use it anywhere you want. So I think we are done right now, right? But again, let's do something. Let's do something magic here. We are going to use font size here, and we are going to use some things. Let's use one of our attributes here. Let's use font size. Let's use, don't let us use it here. Let's get back to our next tutorial so we can be able to discuss about CSS in details. So let's save our document highlight and get back to our next tutorial. Anwar Akorede Ayofe is my name. I wish to see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Bye bye.